So I was on social media the other day and I came across this clip that captured my attention. And when I first saw the clip, I experienced a range of emotions. I first laughed at what I was seeing. I was then a little shocked, and there was a general sense of disbelief. And then I was worried. That was essentially the range of emotions that ripped through me as I watched and rewatched this short clip. I then went and did some research. I went and found the longer interview and I watched it because I wanted to make sure it wasn't edited and adulterated. And then I looked up the award ceremony, the Oscars criteria. And sure enough, everything that I was seeing was indeed accurate. And that's really when I became worried, because what you're going to see might have some implications for comics. And I think that would potentially be a bad thing. Let me play part of this clip for you.
Shifting gears entirely, starting in 2024, films will be required to meet new inclusion standards to be eligible for the Academy Awards for Best Picture. They'll have to have a certain percentage of actors or crew from underrepresented racial and ethnic groups. What do you think of these new inclusion standards for films?
They make me vomit.
So I was not at all prepared to hear Richard Dreyfuss say that. I was not prepared to hear that at all. And again, I was shocked that these criteria for diversity and inclusion were actually part of awards. I was not aware of that. And again, I went and I did some research, and sure enough, it was true. And then I, again, was reacting to Richard Dreyfuss and his commentary. Let me say this. I am not against diversity. I am not against representation in any way, shape, or form. But I think that some of this could backfire. But before we get to that, let's play a little bit more of this interview.
They make me vomit.
Why?
Because this is an art form. It's also a form of commerce, and it makes money. But it's an art.
That point that this is art is a legitimate point. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about movies or TV shows or comics, it is art. And he goes on to talk about how art should have some freedoms. You should be able to create some things in a way that you're unencumbered by meeting certain boxes that have to be checked. And to some degree, it's a legitimate point. And again, I'm not against diversity. The challenge is that when you force something, that thing is oftentimes met with force. And even when people give in and allow that thing to happen, it's not because they accept it, it's because they've given up fighting. And that doesn't mean that everyone's going to accept it. Some people will continue to resist and push back against it. And in my head, I would hate for any of these criteria to find their way into awards for comics or any other media for that matter, because I just don't think that it's going to achieve the desired result. I prefer that things be organic. I feel like if you give people an opportunity, things will organically happen versus trying to ram things down the throats of people and assume that they're going to acquiesce and back down. That doesn't seem to work. I once worked for a guy by the name of Rick. And Rick honestly wasn't a good leader at all. Incredibly smart man, but not a good leader. He was not inspirational. He was not motivational in any way, shape, or form. And whenever we have, meetings, he would always put onto the agenda fun. Anytime you see the word fun on an agenda, you know that there will be no fun because it's going to be forced. It will be forced fun, not actual fun. And you will smile and you will grin and you will bear it and you will just wait for it to be over so that you can go do other things. It makes it painful. Worked for another person. This woman's name was Abby, and I've worked for her off and on for a very long period of time. An incredible leader, charismatic, motivational, inspirational, the whole 9 yards. She would never, ever put fun on an agenda. But you know what? During a meeting, we are going to work our tails off. And along the way, we always had fun. It was natural for her. It was organic for her. It was part of who she was. She was all about the work, and along the way, she wanted to have some fun, and she made sure that we all had fun. It was genuine to her. It was not forced. If you want to force it, you can, and people will grin and they will bear it, but they will not enjoy it. I don't want to see comics ruined from people forcing things. Allow things to happen. Allow good stories to be told. Allow diversity to happen, but give it the freedom to actually occur. The challenge is that when you force it, it essentially meets force, and people begin to paint everything with this broad brush of trash. And when people do that, they actually gloss over the stuff that's actually really good, because a lot of times there is some good stuff in there. There's also a lot of really bad stuff that is not genuine, that is just being put out there because it checks a box. That is how companies go out of business, trying to meet some standards versus focusing on the actual thing that they are there for. Comic book companies are there to put out good, creative stories. Focus on that.
And no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. And I'm sorry, I don't think that there's a minority or a majority in the country that has to be catered to like that.
Again, no one is against diversity. It's the forcing of diversity that people struggle with.
This thing on? Mic check. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly. Yeah. Should you practice art, or should art be your practice? I had a question, so I asked it. Not to anyone specifically, but to my inner God, you know? The one that's gonna be a master, the one that's more than a rapper, the one that's an educator, the one that seeks enlightenment. He travels with concepts, he's got the mindset expansive. He understands that his time combined with travel and concepts makes his mind convex. Sort of like when you look at a brain scan, straight off meditation, we was concaving until we had that eternal dialogue that created our dialect. Now we in distinct rooms of pure souls having them conversations, synergy and combinations. You fly and we waiting, Indian style in the gold.